Hello, Latinos. This is your boy Tico Tren, and this podcast is going to be about women. The I'm the mother and the father girls, basically. This is what I refer to them as. I'm the mother and the father girls. So that's pretty much what they are in my eyes. Um, the funny thing about that, I'm the mother and the father girls is their ability to their ability to act as if they're the father and the mother for the most part. That's what they do for the most part. That's all they want to be the father and the mother. What's up, Red Pill Dusty? What's up, Yam, and whoever else is lurking? Typically, what happens with these women, they tend to act like or pretend that they are the mother and the father, when in fact they're only really filling one role only, and one role and one role only. A lot of the advice that I've heard single mothers give to like their boys end up being like some of the most asinine, ass backwards advice in the whole entire world. Like there was a there was a commercial where a man a boy well, he's a boy to me because he acts like one, because he actually obviously doesn't know. He says something to the extent of like, if you ever get into a fight, ball up your fist and stick your one knuckle out, basically, to actually fight. um no, that's how you break your finger. That's literally how you break your finger. What's up, Adam? That's literally how you break your finger. If you get into a fight and you use your knuckle, that's how you're going to break your finger. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It sucks, but that's how you break your finger. What's up, Red Pill Fred? And the three types of there's three types of I'm the mother and the father women. And oh yeah, by the way, happy Father's Day to everybody. I meant to start off the live stream by saying that. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Mine is still going good. I'm gonna keep this as a short podcast because my son's gonna put me on punishment because I got things I need to do for Father's Day. He needs to take me places apparently, so I won't be on put on punishment later. I got to cut this short. But yeah, I'll let you know when it's going to end. But it's not going to be a long one, so I'm not going to hold y'all hostage. Um, but typically with these ones, you run into the three types of women that you run into would be the and these are what the women I'm referring to is the I'm the mother and the father women, girls, basically is how I refer to these women. Um, the first woman is she ran them off woman. Basically, what that means. Thank you, Red Pill Fred. You also, man. Basically, what that means is she basically was with a man, but her attitude, how she carries herself, how she presents herself, ran that man off. That's it's pretty much self-explanatory. If I got to really break that down for you, then you're either a woman who ran her man off, or you don't really understand the concept of a woman running her man off. It's easy to run a man off for the most part. Um, a real man's not going to put up with bullshit for the most part. Typically, how that works is either we're doing this way, or we're not doing this at all. That's typically how these men are. A good example of running a man off is my dad, my mom, and my dad. Before I was born, my father literally left my mother at the bank because she was running her mouth way too fucking much. What's up, Corey? What's up, Corey Steele? My mother literally ran my father off because she ran her mouth a little too much, basically. The irony to it, they were at the bank when this actually happened. The funny thing about that was they were dating and she actually needed some money for something, so they were at the bank so he can give her money so she could put into her account because, they were preparing for my birth, basically. Long story short, my mom ran her mouth a little too much that day before she actually got the money in hand. And my father just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done with this. I ain't doing this shit no more. I'm out. You deal with this shit on your own. You call me when you can fix your fucking behavior, basically, and act like you got some fucking sense. Literally what my father said to my mother. Call me when you can act like you got some fucking sense. And he bounced. Now she's standing in the bank. She got no money because she ran her mouth a little too fucking much. Most smart women will wait till money exchanges hands before they actually start talking shit. Unfortunately, my mother, on the other hand, not so much. So that's typically what I mean by a woman running a man off. My mom literally ran my dad off for the most part. Um, another group of another group of women that fall into this category of I'm the mother and the father category is poor choices women. That's the problem. If you make a bunch of if you make a series of bad choices, don't be shocked when you end up in the predicament that you're in. Good example of making wrong choices would be dating a man that you know is not going to stick around. Dating a man that, pretty much belongs to the streets. Dating a man that literally is not really with you 100%. And something that I've noticed about a lot of these women who actually talk shit on men, the poor choices women, is if you actually talk to the men, they were only there to hit it and quit it. They were never in a long-term relationship. Shit happened. She got pregnant. She decided to keep it. Thought she could probably keep the guy around or keep him. And that's basically a series of bad decisions. She slept with the wrong man. She got pregnant by the wrong man. She thought that if she kept the baby, that the wrong man would actually stick around and be the right man, and he didn't. And now they're single. The sad part about that is, the funny thing about that is, a lot of men actually get labeled as cheaters from this category of women, which is a large category of women. The sad part about that is these men weren't cheating. They never claimed they were your boyfriend. They never claimed they were with you. They never claimed that they was going to be with you. They never claimed that they wanted to have a baby. Now, I know what people are going to say. They should have used a condom. The sad part about that is 90% of them actually do use condoms. Well, no, I'm sorry. 70% of them actually do use condoms. Unfortunately, condoms are only about 87% effective, 70 something percent effective nowadays. So sperm is going to get through. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be breakage. There's going to be all this shit for the most part. So at the end of the day, condoms really ain't shit. So the sad part about that is when it comes to birth control, condoms are only like 70 to 87% effective. The sad part about that is women's contraceptives are damn near 99.9% effective. So you have a lower chance if you actually take your contraceptives properly. I mean, your pills effectively, or the day after pill effectively, to actually not have a baby. The sad part about that is, I believe, just like the day after pill for men or the pill for men, I believe that women rallied to actually have the effectiveness of condoms actually lowered, just so they can have babies with Chad and Tyrone for the most part, or Pookie and Ray Ray. I would not be shocked if that was the case, because if you ever paid attention to condoms, when they first started out, they were like 98.9% effective. Now they're down to 80 something percent effective. And the sad part about that is their effectiveness started going down when the male birth control pill came out, actually, where it makes a man sterile for about, like, I think 72 hours. It had less side effects. There was no side effects to it, basically. All it was is it basically makes you sterile, so you shoot blanks for the next 72 hours for the most part. The problem with that is now women actually shot that down. Female politicians and women actually shot that down because they don't want men to have any power. Because if their man is taking birth control, if they don't want to have children with the woman, now he's stuck with that woman. It's sad. He's stuck paying child support. And the sad part about it, if men can have birth control like that, it was more effective than the female birth control. If men can actually have birth control like that, then what's up, free agent Pepe? If women can have birth control, or men can have birth control like that, that's that effective, then they can't trap a man into having children with them to get cash and prizes from them. That's typically how that works. And Pookie, that's basically the gangbanger version of Tyrone. Pookie and Ray Ray is basically the gangbanger version. Do you also have Guido and Tony, which is the white versions? You have Casper and Alvarez. That's pretty much the Latin versions of that. And pretty much the list goes on and on for the most part. But typically that's how that works. No, Tyrone's not a thug. Tyrone's the one that's actually doing good, but not the educated lame. He's basically in between. He's basically He's basically the educated lame doing good early in his life for the most part. So he doesn't seem like an educated lame because he has money. That's typically Tyrone. Tyrone's the educated lame, but he gets the money up front, basically. Pookie and Ray Ray's the thugs. Yeah, basically he's a thug Tyrone. Yes, he's a thug Tyrone. Yeah, but yeah, that's typically how that works. Um, in a shit like this that women do, that they make a series of bad decisions to actually get them in the mess that they're in. And it's like I always say, if it wasn't for your series of bad decisions, you wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. Everything comes down to a series of bad decisions. And this is typically what the second group falls into. The poor choices female, girl. The third group is they don't even know who the father is because they slept around so much. There's that group. That's the sad part about that. There's literally that group of women that slept around so much they couldn't even tell you who the daddy is. It'd be a much more conservative version of what they show on, like, the Maury show back in the day, where a woman's dragging like 12 men onto the show and they all come back, they're not the father. And now she's got to drag a couple more men on the show and they come back not the father. It's basically that version. So who's Chad's? Tony and Guido would be Chad's gangster versions, basically. For Juan, it would be, like I said, Casper and Alvarez. Would be typically the Latin version of Juan. They're the Latin thug version of Juan. But so typically that's pretty much how that works. There's a lot of women that's running around that don't know who the father of the child is. But the sad part about that is because they slept with so many motherfucking people, they're too ashamed to actually call people up and actually get DNA tests done on men. It's just facts. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got the women that'll go on Maury's show and, like, advertise that they slept with this many people, but you got a lot of women that are ashamed of their past. No, Chad's not his own guy. Chad's the good-looking version. Chad is like your Chad is basically like your what's his name? The Cavill person that plays Superman. That's Chad. The man that's pretty much doing right with his life. Tony basically, I got Tony from like Tony Soprano. Basically, he's the thug version of Chad. There's always a thug version of that person, no matter how you cut it. Tony's the thug version of Chad, along with Guido. Basically, I'm basically going off the Italian mafia, basically, to get those names. They're basically the Italian versions of Chad. They're the Italian thug version. I mean, they're the white thug versions of Chad for the most part. There's always that person. For the most part, that's always the white thug version. There's always the thug version of those men. Chad is pretty much the good-looking guy. That's about it. That's all Chad is, the good-looking guy. Guido and Tony are the thugs that basically run around the neighborhood that got status and prestige and got money, riding around in nice cars. That's basically how that works. Stick around, Corey. I'll learn you a few. What's up, Shinobi One? But the problem with a lot of those women is there's a lot of women who actually have children with men who they literally don't know who the fucking father is. And that's sad. Like, they literally don't know who the father is because they slept with so many men. And the sad part about that, 9 times out of 10, one of the many men that they slept with is probably not the father of the child, but 9 times out of 10, they probably slapped his name on a birth certificate. That's typically how a lot of that actually works and pans out for the most part. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. That's typically how that works. That's typically how all those are pretty much how that's wrapped up. That's pretty much how that's packaged nicely. Yeah, Tyrone would basically be let me rephrase that. Tyrone would actually be like, the athlete, the jock, you know, the athlete jock basically person for the most part would be Tyrone in a black neighborhood. Chad would be the athlete jock too, version of the white version. He's the good guy basically. Then you also have like the thug versions of those people for the most part. So the sad part about that is, what's up, McTown to win? Thank you for joining us. The sad part about that is how this all works is it plays into the modern day thing with the whole entire I'm the mother, I'm the mother and the father for Father's Day. At the end of the day, you're not the mother and the father for Father's Day. You're just a mother who happen to don't know who don't know either A, you don't know who the father is of your children, B, you made a series of bad decisions to actually get you in a mess where you're not with the father of the children because either A, you just picked wrong and you thought baby keeping a baby will actually keep you in his good graces, and they ended up being wrong. The sad part about a lot of those men who actually are a part of the poor choices were basically men that literally admit, like, I was just having fun. I wasn't her boyfriend. I didn't say I wanted to be her boyfriend. We just had sex and it happened. So a lot of these men that women accuse of cheating on them really aren't cheating on them. They never actually gave you the title of their girlfriend for the most part. It's just facts. Then on top of that, you got the women who literally ran their men off. Now the sad part about the women who ran their men off is the majority of the women who are single mothers today, either A, falls into the they ran their man off category, or B, the serious and bad decisions category. That's typically how that works. I would say that's about 80% of women who either ran their men off or made poor choices that are single mothers. The sad part about that is there's a small chunk of women who literally will never admit to actually sleeping around and not knowing who the father of their baby is, so they'll just keep it quiet and keep it to themselves for the most part. Or they'll make up some bogus story that, he died a long time ago for the most part. That's typically how that works. That's typically how this always worked. And it's sad, but that's typically how all these many things play out. And the irony to that is the problem with women trying to claim Father's Day would be the same if a single father basically says, I'm the single mother, I'm the mother and the father on Mother's Day. He would get hung, shot, burned at the stake, and crucified if he did some shit like that. If a man was to say, I'm the mother and the father, so I deserve to have Mother's Day too. They would have a malfunction. They would have like a twitching moment where like a computer does not compute, and they would literally try to hang, kill, drag, murder this man, burn him at the stake, literally. And the sad part about that is, at the end of the day, there's a Mother's Day for a reason and there's a Father's Day for a reason. You don't get to celebrate both days. You only get one day. Just like that'd be like saying because the father of your child is not with you, you deserve to have his birthday too. So you have two birthdays. You have your birthday and the father of your child's birthday. That's typically what that's like saying for the most part. You don't get two birthdays. You get one birthday. Just like you get one day to be celebrated as a mother for the most part. Not including Women's Day. You basically get one day to be celebrated as a mother. It's just facts. The sad part about that is that your day is Mother's Day. It comes first in a year. So I'm going to need you to settle down and relax the rest of the year till either Christmas or Thanksgiving, basically. And that's typically how I feel about shit like that. Or until Mother's Day roll around, or until National Breast Cancer Awareness Month rolls around too. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to need you to settle down till one of them months pretty much roll around. And that's typically how I feel about that. Like, it's not your day, it's Men's Day. It's Father's Day, not Mother's Day. So I'm going to need you to back off on my day and let me enjoy my day in peace. And I'm going to need all the goofy heifers who are protesting that fathers there shouldn't be a Father's Day. I'm going to need you to chill the fuck out. And I'm going to need you to remember that you had a dad and he raised you and or you had a granddad that basically helped you be born and brought you forth into this world. So therefore, I'm gonna need you to chill out too. It's just facts. The sad part about that is this world is starting to degenerate, is starting to turn into a world of degenerates, basically running around here trying to claim up everything. It basically kind of it basically reminds me of when I talk about children. My one daughter, Talia, when she was growing up, she used to have this attitude that everything was hers. That's typically women in this day and age for the most part. Good thing Talia grew out of that shit, but Talia basically literally used to have this attitude that everything was hers. If you pick something up, it could be yours, it could be Laszlo's, it could be her sister's, it's hers. That's basically how that works with women nowadays. My daughter's a good example. My daughter Talia was a good example of that growing up. Literally. If I could pick up an ink pen, it could have my name on it, it could have Tico Tren written down the side of it. She was swerving down it's hers, or say it's hers, and she would snatch it from you. That's basically women in a nutshell this day. They don't just want one day, they want all the days. And the sad part about that is my thought on that whole entire thing is just like Black History Month. I'm not black just in February. I'm black 365, 24/7. Every day I wake up, I'm black. When I go to sleep, I'm black. That's just facts. So I don't need a month to tell me that I'm black. What I need you to realize is I'm black every day of the week, every day of the year. The same goes for Father's Day. When I go to sleep a father. When I wake up a father. I don't need one day to tell me how good I'm doing as a father. But the sad part about that is the fact that I actually get that day, I'm gonna need a bunch of women to back up off that day and just settle down and go have their own damn day. Go do your own damn day and leave my day alone for the most part is exactly how I feel about that shit. So quit trying to claim something that doesn't belong to you. This isn't kindergarten, nor is this preschool, nor are you a 7-year-old, 11-year-old, basically. I'm gonna need you to grow up and actually own up to your day. At the end of the day, you're in a predicament. Majority of women are in a predicament. I would say about 90% of the women, 85 to 90% of the women are in a predicament that they're in because of either bad choices, you ran your man off, or you don't know who the fucking father is. Now, I will tip my hat to the women who are single mothers that are widows. Now, I will say that, and I always do say that. If you're a widow, I tip my hat to you. Do your thing, girl, do your thing. However, if you made a series of bad decisions, or if you ran your man off, or you don't know who your children's father is, I'm gonna need you to fuck off and go back to Mother's Day and leave my day alone. It's my day. It's Father's Day. I like to keep it that way. And if you don't like it, I don't really give a damn. It's just that simple. That's basically all I'm gonna do for this live stream. Everybody enjoy their Father's Day. If you're a pet father, enjoy your Father's Day to all the pet fathers. If you're a pet father, yeah, enjoy your Father's Day. If you're an actual father, enjoy your Father's Day. If you're a father that can't see their children because the mom literally ran you off, or she made a series of bad decisions, or you think you might be the father of the child, but she's too embarrassed to actually take you in for a DNA test. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to all the MGTOW content creators, from Coach Greg Adams to Hammerhand to True Sherm to Mr. Forma to Mr. Elite to everybody under the sun for the most part. I'm sorry if I missed somebody that's not here for the most part. Happy Father's Day to all the red pill content creators who are going through the same thing. And happy Father's Day to all the silent fathers who are literally getting their shit kicked in by their significant other and get treated like shit for the most part in the relationship and being treated like a second-rate citizen in a relationship. Happy Father's Day to all those people. Everybody be blessed. Be good. I'll catch y'all tomorrow on the Relentless show, or it might be Tuesday, depending on what True Sherm's schedule is. Y'all be blessed. Have a great Father's Day. Enjoy it. Don't let nobody take it away from you. Let it be pet father or actual father. Don't let nobody take it away from you. Enjoy it enjoy it to the maximum. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.